What's up, guys? Coach AY here. I want to talk about the functional movement assessment for the deep squat. Now, in this movement, we're going to be analyzing flexibility and stability in the ankle, knee, and hip. We're also going to be looking at body position, as this will be the foundation for learning how to squat. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to get our feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to use the term columns. Our shoulders create a vertical column. Our head creates a center column, other shoulder creates the other column. I want my heels to be in alignment with my toes forward underneath my shoulder column. Okay, this is going to be shoulder width apart stance. From here, with my heels into the ground, I'm going to rotate my toes outward slightly. Now, my toes are not at a true 45 degrees. They're going to be somewhere between 25 and 35 degrees rotated outward. This is my shoulder width stance. Now for my arms will be straight out. My wrists and hands will be just in alignment with the shoulders. My thumbs will be straight up. My chest will be proud, okay? I'm gonna have a proud chest, meaning I'm not caving my chest in. I have my shoulders rolled back, so I have my chest proud, just like this, okay? From here, I'm going to have a slight hinge in my hips, which means I sit my butt back slightly. That's the hinge, just like so, okay? This is straight up. This is a slight hinge. And then from here, I'm going to drop right back into a deep squat. Now, in the deep squat, some things that you will notice, my butt will be slightly lower than my knees. Okay, my knees are not, or my thighs are not going to be parallel. We're going to be slightly to the negative. We are working on the deep squat. The second thing that you'll notice from my back, lower back to the top of my neck is a straight line. I do not have a rounded upper back. I do not have a curve in my lower or upper back. I want to have a straight line from my tailbone to the back of my neck. Now, some things that you're going to want to look at and we want to analyze. First, straight on, we want to make sure that the athlete is symmetrical, meaning as they go into the squat, they're not leaning one way or the other. That tells us that maybe one side of the body has more flexibility than the other side. Another thing that we want to look at, we want to make sure the knees are not caving in as they descend into the squat. So you want to teach the athlete to push the knees out, not to overpronounce that, but to make sure that the knees are pushing out and fighting them from rotating inward. So if I'm going to do my squat straight on, I'm here, you'll notice that my knees are kind of flaring out in the same direction that my toes are going. This is why we set our toes outward of our heels. My knee is in alignment with my toes. And that is how I drop into my squat. If I'm here, then I notice that I have a little bit of leaning to one side or the other. That's something that we want to take note. And again, we want to make sure the knees are not caving in. The other thing that we want to look at in terms of flexibility in our 3 points, ankles, knees, hips, sometimes you'll notice that the athlete, instead of bending at the ankles and knees, they are bending more at the waist, trying to get themselves deeper into the squat. That means we have some issues with our ankles and our knees. The hips, obviously, we can bend. The other thing we want to make sure that we're looking at, the pressure in the foot needs to be in the middle of the foot, not the heel, not the toe. We want to be in the middle of the foot. If you need a visual representation of that, it's somewhere where your shoestrings start in your foot. Now your foot is going to be flat to the ground, but the pressure in your foot is going to be in the middle of the foot. So again, you'll be here, chest tall, we drop into our squat, just like so. Now the last thing that we want to look at and analyze, I want my nose, my chest, my knees, and my toes to all be in vertical alignment. So when I'm in position and I drop into my squat, my toes, my knees, my chest, my nose, all in vertical alignment. I'm not here, meaning I'm front loaded. And obviously, I'm not rocking back because that's where we'll fall back, okay? So these are some of the key points that you want to look at. And you want to use a grading scale from 0 to 3. Now, the items that I went through, those are the flaws to look at. So if you have a great number of flaws, then you would kind of grade that as a 0, maybe a 1 if the flaws start to decrease. 3 means we have no flaws in our position. So take your time, go through the exercise, send us videos, and we'll give you our assessment feedback. We'll see you on the next one.